Hello again. Now, a gender activist is heading to court to challenge a section of the law that bars publicly naming a person accused of rape or other sexual offences. As it stands, the Criminal Procedure Act prohibits naming a suspect before they appear in court. In the instance of sex crimes, the identity of the suspect cannot be released publicly if it risks identifying the victim. But Caroline Peters from the Callas Foundation wants the relevant section of this act declared unconstitutional and invalid. Peters joins us now live for more on what sparked this interesting legal beat. Ms. Peters, good afternoon. Welcome to Today here on eNCA. So why are you challenging this law that bars naming the accused in rape cases before they appear in court?
Hi, Dan. So last year in October, I named in fact, yes, I posted a court roll on social media, and subsequently the perpetrator then got an interim order of harassment against me, granted against me. When we went to court to have it made final, however, didn't show up, and then it was withdrawn. Now we know that we always say silence hides violence, and we try to encourage victims of sexual violence to speak up and speak out. So I believe that this part of the legislation is silencing women. It will allow other women to come forward. I mean, the same perpetrator, Radan, is now, we in December 2022, this was reported in August 2021. He was charged. However, up until now, he still hasn't pleaded. What happens in the case if there's more victims, whatever? And so now, for the record, we still cannot name him.
Are you suggesting that perhaps this provision in the law might be protecting the suspect or the accused?
Definitely. You know, if you look at the serial rapists, just think if you're able to report on a name, on a person, and someone else might pop in, pop up, another victim could pop up, and it's in a way of silencing women. We know that women are more likely to be the victims of sexual violence. So again, it's silencing women. We try to encourage women and communities to speak up against sexual violence or any kind of gender-based violence, and yet this law prohibits. We can name a murderer, we can name a theft, we can name fraud, we can name all these other charges, attempted murders. If someone has been charged, you can name them. However, and nothing there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm saying with sexual violence, are we not believing? So it's like we don't believe her because we're protecting him.
What about the argument that would say, especially when minors are involved, children, that when you identify the accused or the suspect in a rape case or a sexual offense case, you might also be exposing the minor and that they need protection? How do you respond to that?
Then I say, remember, the court still has the option. In many cases, the magistrate can still say that the perpetrator should not be named, and it can be a court order. However, right now, it's a criminal offense to name a perpetrator. We can still have it guided by the magistrate to make it a court order that the perpetrator is not named, especially in the matter where there's children involved, where there will be sensitive matters, where the victim will then be easily identified if we name the perpetrator. Again, it could be, it can be decided by the magistrate then that the name is not allowed to be printed or mentioned. Yeah.
Okay, now you've approached the courts, Ms. Peters, and wanting that particular section we're discussing to be declared unconstitutional and invalid. Just give us a quick update. Where is that matter now in court? And has the Department of Justice and the relevant other, I don't know, I think it would be the Department of Justice and Correctional Services?
Minister.
Yes, Minister Ronald Lamula. Have they filed their papers yet in opposing yours? What's the state of play?
Not. Okay, so at the moment, so on the 5th of December, we filed with the High Court. We brought the application. So Women's Legal Center is the legal assisting me with this application. The application was filed on the 5th of December. The second respondent is also the perpetrator that I mentioned in the matter that took me to court and laid a criminal charge against me. He's the second respondent. And then, so the minister has up until January to file his report. So we know we're expecting him to file counter papers. And then, of course, it will become a legal matter drawn out. And then the next, so it's going to be quite a battle. But with Women's Legal Center, we're a great team. Bradan, we're a great team of activists and lawyers and advocates, feminists, litigators that is taking this on.
Are you going to be looking for friends of the court to support your argument in court?
Definitely. Yes, we're going to, beginning of January, like you can all, most of us are in leave now, so when we come back from work, we will definitely be looking for friends of the court. We were looking for endorsements to this application. So I'd like to say to fellow organizations or others out there that would like to support this legislation, please stay in touch with us on the Women's Legal Center page, or my own page, Caroline Peters at Callas Foundation. Look out for us. We will be asking for friends of the court and other organizations to endorse this.
Yeah, and final question to you, Ms. Peters, just to recap, why is it critical that this law changes in the way that you are proposing?
Firstly, you must, so for perpetrators, cannot be named. We want perpetrators to be named because we're saying there's others, there might be other victims out there. We're also saying it's a way of silencing victims. It's a way of silencing women, of not being able to speak out. So those are the two biggest reasons. One of the other reasons is just that, again, we're saying we're giving her a voice back. By silencing her, we again bringing that shame and all those other feelings that goes with rape. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Caroline Peters from Callas Foundation, on her campaign as a gender activist to change provisions of the law as it stands today, where it pertains to the naming or the not naming of a rape suspect before they've appeared in court. She believes it's protecting the accused, this law, and it's unconstitutional and invalid. We'll have to wait and see how Ronald Lamula, the Minister of Justice and Correctional Service, will respond to this in court. Ms. Peters has already filed her papers in court.